Eric, jump on the next slide.
So just to go back, we're not suggesting that we do the exceptions. We're putting it out there as all of the options are available to close the budget, that's all.
And here, and to talk about the exceptions a little bit further, we have no idea what the amount's going to be until you actually file those exceptions. And there's a process that's in place. You have to approve a preliminary budget above the index prior to even going in and filing for exceptions. So that's what we're capable of being approved at, is right there. And I just did it last week. It was due the 11th, I did it the 10th. You have to publicly advertise a week after, week prior to that. So that is the only new piece of information you have, is what we have as a possible option in going with exceptions.
So I want to make sure I understand what Mike said. So what you were saying is then, originally when we said 2.9% is the index, going to the index, going above it for the exceptions to 3.08 would be $90,000?
Yep.
Is that correct?
That's what we showed in our preliminary budget.
Okay.
And that's why I
So
got
make sure
emotional. I'm speaking for myself, but that just blew me away, because that's not, that's not 0.2%. It's 50% above what our,
I mean, that's
things,
an option, and that may not even be an option. PD still has to approve it.
Who do I call it, PD?
Because I'm not getting an answer.
Trust me, I'll call him. I swear to God, I'll call him and say.
Don't call him for the board.
No, I won't. I'll call him as Joe, taxpayer at 5120 Cherry Street. That's where my house is. And if I don't pay my damn taxes, the sheriff's gonna show up.
Okay, so I just want to clarify, because I don't want to think that anybody was misleading. When we did the preliminary budget, you have to show that you're going to go above it a little bit in your preliminary, and we used the 3.08. Now that we know what the exceptions would be if we got the full exceptions, it is what it is. So I just want to make sure that that original information was accurate.
We're just talking information right now, right?
Correct.
We've got a lot of decisions. I don't want to see the alternatives in programs or whatever else if we don't do things that we might need to do. So let's continue.
So let's take a look, as we know that we have a deficit that we have to try to balance the budget with. Where have we been over the past couple of years? We've eliminated 2 administrative positions by closing Ridgefield and Vernondale. Absorbed 23 teacher positions through attrition, most of that as a result of closing Ridgefield and Vernondale. Central office positions, DOIS or maintenance, we've eliminated 6 positions. Educational assistants, secretaries, 12 positions. Athletic coaching aides, 33 positions. Technology integrators and coaches, eliminated 3 positions. TV studio PR, again, which we discussed that today, 3 positions. Again, that is going to add to, if we want to video the board meeting, it's adding to a budget for which we can't even balance right away anyhow. So let's move on to what does that mean from a programmatic standpoint? Well, the middle school instructional support advisors have been eliminated. Middle school reading specialists have been eliminated. District librarians, driver's education, field trips, tutoring, professional development.
We cut back on those, we didn't eliminate them, the field trips and the tutoring,
Correct.
just to clarify.
High school mandarin, district supplies. The district technology budget is outdated by about a decade.
That's the one where we've cut $650,000 or so each year for the past couple of years.
Yes.
Yes, so that one is taking a beating. It has to be replenished.
So we're really at the point now where we really kind of need our budget. Let's talk a little bit about our budget this year. We added back in a technology lease because our district technology is outdated. We also added a secondary curriculum position. It also includes upgrades to our middle school wireless network. So we have to, what are our options right now? We can either raise taxes, cut programs, combination of the both. We can't use a fund balance. Our current fund balance policy states that we're going to try to achieve 8% of total expenditures. Our expenditures continue to climb every year, which means we better be adding to our fund balance every year.
But
So that's
wouldn't the proper terminology be we shouldn't use fund balance? I don't think you can say we cannot. We absolutely can.
Yeah.
We could get our fund balance down to 0 and not have a tax increase. Not a prudent thing to do, but I think that wording is incorrect to say that we cannot use fund balance. I think it should say it would be prudent not to use it. Cannot is the wrong terminology.
I wouldn't argue the semantics of that. I would strongly discourage the use of fund balance because we haven't reached our 6 or 8% minimum. We're still building that, and that's just fund balance. We have to put away money for capital improvements and things in that, but that is part of the issue that had happened prior to the collapse of 2011 and 12 was using our fund balance to balance the budget is not a practice that we should even look at for this year, in my opinion.
What was crazy about that is our fund balance was used for 2 or 3 years, and we weren't even aware of it. It wasn't reported to us, so we depleted it, and we didn't even know. So,
Mr. O'Toole, is that the term when you say fund balance? Is there another term that you use for fund balance?
Are you speaking on behalf of?
What is the fund balance? Give me a definition of the fund balance. Is that a reserve?
Yeah, you could say it's a
You
reserve.
could say it's a reserve. I would like to have a definition of the fund balance.
I can print it off of PDE's website and bring it to you for the
Okay,
board.
fine. But you just also stated that the fund balance is the reserve, correct?
Correct.
And have you or have you not transferred, on the budget transfers, reserve from the reserve balance, reserve account, into different other accounts?
Have we? No. Are we asking or requesting so? Yes. And if you're referring to the budgetary reserve, that's not the same thing.
Budget transfers,
Are you talking about the ones that are out for the committee right now?
yes, correct.
That's not, we're speaking apples and oranges right now. So the budgetary reserve is a line item within that individual budget for that current fiscal year that is for unforeseen expenditures. If it's not used, yeah, it would roll into the fund balance, but it is not using the fund balance. The fund balance is,
Our fund balance is our savings account.
yeah, that's good.
That's our savings account.
That's your reserve account.
It's our savings account. You asked for a definition.
Well,
Savings account.
statutorily, it's called fund balance. I mean, and you're allowed 8% statutorily. That is what it's called.
Do you transfer money from that account to other accounts?
No, not your fund balance account, you do not.
Okay, thank you.
So, where we're at right now is suggestions, discussion. What direction would you provide us to go in order to balance this budget?
What I'd like to see, Mr. O'Toole, is a no tax increase for the citizens and taxpayers of Mill Creek Township for next year. That's number one. Number two, you put up on your PowerPoint that there were a number of positions that were cut, eliminated, etc. You did not attach a monetary amount. Can you provide the board with a monetary amount of money that you have saved over the past 2 or 3 years to balance the budget? In other words, what were the cost containment issues? What were the cost savings issues? Just to put on a statement, these were the assigned positions that were eliminated, went from full-time to part-time. You did not attach a monetary amount.
Okay, can I address that? I can answer that for you very succinctly. When I first stepped in here, we had an $8.8 million deficit. We did not have a fund balance. We had a negative $400,000 fund balance. Through some of the things that you saw up there, the closing of Ridgefield, redoing boundaries, redistricting, right-sizing classrooms, we were able to take that initial 8.8, along with refinancing our bond, and make a budget work. That was the first year. The second year, we were at 4.4. We had to go back and look at programs and staff. The staffing that you see, most of those staff